So the first thing I'm going to do is, this is the book, Ray Elijah. It's Roald Dahl, Tortoise. I'm going to read the first bit to my son, Guillaume, because I said I'd do it and I haven't done it yet. So I'm doing it now. So Guillaume, I do apologize for being very late in telling the story. I'm just going to read the first few pages, and it's called SEO Trot, which is tortoise backwards. SEO Trot. So this is the first page. Mr. Hoppy lived in a small flat high up in a tall concrete building. He lived alone. He had always been a lonely man, and now that he was retired from work, he was more lonely than ever. There were two loves in Mr. Hoppy's life. One was the flowers he grew in his balcony. They grew in pots and tubs and baskets. And in summer, the little balcony became a riot of color. Mr. Hoppy's second love was a secret he kept entirely to himself. And I'll stop there. I also have here Ingrid, who's lying over there. She, her partner, Alex, he does shiatsu. So I've got a free gift card today to do shiatsu, which I'm looking forward to. And I'm now going to tell the story, which is my signature story, as it were. I'll first have a glass of champagne. Cheers to you, Ray. Thank you for your presence, your work, your oneness, everything you do for the world. Thank you, Elijah, for your... Every time I think of you, I laugh, Elijah, so it's great. Thank you for your humor. Oh, there's Gino Yu. Hey, Gino. Gino is probably very late at night for Gino.
Gino, all right.
Here he is.
Actually, no. Hey, Ray.
Hey, I'm just...
Ray.
Cheers, Gino. It's happy birthday to you.
I'm in LA.
Oh, you're in LA now?
Oh, you're in LA?
Are you down in Manhattan Beach?
I'm in Torrance.
Torrance. Oh, yeah. I'll be in Santa Monica tonight through Tuesday morning.
Oh, wonderful. Yeah. I would love that.
And then you're in blockchain. Are you going to be at Consensus in Austin?
No, I'm actually building products. I'm going to India in 2 weeks.
Stop. This is not a networking event. This is my party.
Yes, that's it.
You're going to listen to me, Gino Yu. Professor Yu. Merci bien. So, I've just told a story to my son. It's been recorded. It's about loneliness. And it's about secrets that we keep it to ourselves. So I'm going to tell the story now. It will take 10 minutes. And then thank you for your presence. Thank you. Gino, behind us here, we have Bretan. We have Gina Van Hoff. And we have Ingrid Liberatore. Gino, Ray, Elijah. Lovely. So I'm telling the story in honor of Brussels and for healing for the spirit of Brussels as a place which is the rational political center of Europe. And I'm in Moses's back garden. The sky behind me.
Stand back.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Right. Okay. Thank you to this tree, this beautiful tree. Right. Is that us? Elijah, can you hear me?
Yes, perfect.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you know that Brussels has the shape of a heart? Do you know that?
So Ingrid just told me that Brussels has the shape of a heart. That's the shape of it. Okay. So once there was a boy who lived in the foothills of a great mountain range. He was a shepherd, and every day he took his sheep high up into the mountains to graze. Yeah. It was an easy life because his dog did most of the work. So every day he would go up, do that work and come back, and he would come back to the parents, to his grandparents' home, his grandmother, grandfather, and every night they would share the songs and the stories of their people. And every night he would learn all about the local culture, the stories, the songs, stories of promises kept and promises broken, of romantic adventures, of knights and princesses, and all the beautiful stories that existed since time began.
Volume down.
They can hear me. Okay. So every day he took the sheep up into those mountains, and as they grazed, he would sit under a tree like this and play his guitar and sing those songs, song after song after song until the evening, and then he would take those sheep back down to the village. And this was his life, day after day after day after day. Until one day, he said, I'm going to look for a new path, a different way. And he was a bit nervous, but he eventually found this path, and he went up and up and up, bringing the sheep and the dog until they found this beautiful field full of long, lush grass. The sheep went in, but the boy wanted to carry on. He felt afraid, but he carried on higher and higher and higher and higher until eventually he came to a huge, steep cliff. And at the bottom of the cliff, there was a cave. And outside the cave, there was a big boulder. And so the boy sat down next to the boulder because he was tired and he was just, a long walk. And he took out his guitar and started to play a song. And at the end of the song, he put the guitar down, went for his lunch, and then a voice came out from the cave. Don't stop playing. The boy was terrified. He went to pick up the guitar and run, but the voice said, please, please keep playing. The boy continued to play, very, very nervous. And once the boy finished the song, the voice told a story. Then a song, then a story. Song for story, story for song, through all the day until the end of the evening when the sun was setting. And the boy, by the end of the day, realized he was in the presence of an extraordinary storyteller. At the end of that day, the voice said, will you come back tomorrow? And the boy said, yes, yes, I will. And so he went down that night back to his parents. And then the next day he came back up. And again, story for song, song for story, over and over and over and over. Until one day, the voice began to tell its own story, a story of loneliness, suffering, pain. And the boy, instead of going back down the hill, down the mountain, he thought, I'm going to enter that cave. And so he stood up and he went to face his fears. As the sun was setting, the sun went into the cave, and the cave was shining with diamonds and rubies and sapphires. And the boy was entering that cave slowly by slowly. And the voice was still telling its own story of this suffering and loneliness. As the boy kept going in, came in, eventually he got to an area and he just suddenly smelt this rotting flesh and blood. And he carried on and went round the corner, and then he saw them. These huge, huge talons leading up to these strong legs, up to this immense body, and then up. And the boy found himself looking at a dragon. And as the dragon finished her story, a tear dropped from her eye into the palm of the boy. The dragon, noticing the boy's presence, said, what are you doing here? Are you not afraid of me? And the boy said, no. Why are you not afraid of me? Because I know your story. And the dragon nodded. Yes, this is true. Will you come back tomorrow? Yes. Yes, I will. And so he did. The boy kept coming back again, sharing these stories and this good time. And the boy thought, I need to help this dragon. I need to find a way to support and find what's going on here. So one day he found the courage to say, why are you in this cave? Why are you not out there telling your stories to the world? And the dragon, she said, if I go out there into the world, men will take their swords and their spears and they will attack me, and I'll be forced to kill them. And I do not want to kill them. Many, many, many will die. So that's why I stay here in this cave. And the boy at that moment said, I will find a solution to this problem. So that night he went down, he talked to his grandparents, and they were talking about the fact that the village in the past had been so popular. People came from all over the world, but now they were going to the seaside village where there was more fun and enjoyment and dancing. And just as his grandparents were talking about this, he thought, I know. And he ran out the door all the way down to the mayor's house, got to the mayor's house and he knocked on the door. No answer. No answer. Eventually, the mayor comes down. Oh, what's the problem? It's too late at night. He opens the door and there's the boy. And he says, what do you want, boy? And he says, sir, is it true that no one comes to our village anymore? Yes, it's true. Sad, but true. He said, I have an idea. I know a storyteller. She's amazing, but she's very shy. A shy storyteller, says the mayor. Come on, heard that one. But yes, she is shy. Please, can you and the elders come tomorrow? Please come up to the cave and I'll show you and I'll bring her out and she'll tell her stories. So the mayor agreed. And the next morning, the boy, the sheep, the mayor and the elders, all of them went all the way up to the hill to the cave. He asked them to sit in a circle around the fire and he blindfolded them. Put your blindfolds on. And as he did that, he went into the cave and brought out the dragon and said, please tell your stories. And so the dragon told her stories of romance and adventure, stories of love and romance, stories of promises kept and promises broken. And eventually she got to that point where she told the story of her own pain and loneliness and isolation. And this time the tear dropped into the hand of the mayor and he pulled up his blindfold and looked up and then he touched the shoulder of the next person and said, touch the next person. And eventually all the elders were looking up at the dragon and the mayor spoke for all of them by saying, you are magnificent. And then he said, I have a question for you. Will you be our storyteller? Will you come down to our village and tell stories and support our community? And the dragon bent down and she said, yes, yes, I will. And she stood up to her full height and spread herself, her full wings in the sun. The light shining through them, the violet covering all the area, and the beauty of it was just incredible. Her full height, full strength. And the mayor then said, I have another question. Can we have a ride? And so the dragon put her head on the ground and they all ran up. The mayor, the elders, the sheep and the dog. And then that's it. They flew up and round and round and round, all the way down to the village. And from that night on, the dragon told her stories every night in that community. People came from all over the world to hear her tell her stories, all the time until that one day when she died. And she died, but she did not die alone. She died in a community of people who loved her, with people she loved. And she died with her head in the lap of the man who was the boy who brought her out of that cave so long ago. And after she was buried, the artisans of the town, they got together and they built a statue in her honor of bronze and gold and ruby. And across its chest, her chest, they put the words that she said at the end of every performance at night, which was, you are glorious.
Wow.
Thank you for watching. Sophie, we're off now to have dinner together. Love you all. Ray, I'll talk to you soon. Gino, looking forward to July. We're trying to get Elijah to come to Paris in July. That'd be good. Bye for now.
Bye for now.